everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Rebels with a Cause. You know what time it is, baby. We have a special Friday night episode. Can you feel it? If you're a wrestling fan, this is what you have been waiting for all year. The main attraction, the shows, it is WrestleMania, as Vince McMahon used to say. And we are on the 41st installment. It's crazy, and this is going to be the first one. I mean, last year you could say it, but this is the first one that really has Triple H and the new owners, pretty much the direction that they've wanted to take the company in. A lot of matches, and we wanted to have a special show of Rebels with a Cause tonight to do a WrestleMania pre-show talking about this weekend. And you know what? I can share some past WrestleMania experiences you get with your boys. You order a bunch of pizzas, you slam them down with some beers, you enjoy the matches, which one was craptastic, which is the bathroom break, whether you're there live or watching it on pay-per-view. And realistically, since the invention of the WWE Network, you've been getting $9.99 or what Peacock charges when they took it over. But what I'm getting at is I remember that sometimes you'd have to pay we all scrounged in a few bucks, and it was $70 for a pay-per-view. It was more than the other ones. I mean, because it was WrestleMania. And back then it was only one night. Now it's two nights. I mean, if one decent thing came from COVID, they didn't pack it all in one night. They put it over a whole weekend, even more to get more money out of people. So, and showcase the roster, which many times in the past was criticized for maybe not showcasing or pushing certain people. So there's that as well. But remember, it is Rebels with a Cause, and that cause don't stop when the clock hits zero. We also have a very special guest, and I'm going to give him the proper introduction he deserves, because without him and without his idea, this show, this going on what you're watching, would not happen. And I'm telling you, he may just say, nah, you've done, no. The thing is that I got an idea, and I thought to myself, why not for a high school team? You can do it for a college team, a brand that was once an amazing machine, but still garners enough interest to talk about how bad they are. Their show, You Talk, amazing of what they've done in 5+ years now. And they've only grown it. Their audience is ginormous. And I can only hope to get to that level, even with a lowly high school team here in 5A football and basketball here in Tennessee. But that being said, without him, this show does not happen, because he gave me the idea, honestly. And luckily, two pair, Shane O'Mac, we've made it work. We've had a lot of support. We love our 81 subscribers. I'd love to get to 100. That's the important thing. But first and foremost, got to get a couple housekeeping things out of the way. The views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of West High School. This is RWAC Crew's views. That's myself, the Italian Stallion. Two-pair Tate, Brian Tate, our stats guy and lovable coach himself, Mr. Shane O'Mac. Also, if you're watching this live or recorded, get on that chat box, call us out, talk about what you want to talk about. It's WrestleMania here. You bring the heat. I want to hear it all. And I think I've got the best guest that can be on my page with it and let it flow, because this is going to be a fun night, because it happens once a year, and the stars aligned perfectly for this to happen. That being said, I also want to give two quick shouts out. Our boy, Alex Thatcher, class of 2003 grad, his Knoxville Coffee Company. They're off Sutherland Avenue in the heart of Marble City. That brew is good any time of the day. Go pay him a visit. Let him know that the Rebels with a Cause sent you. And also, can you believe this? Prom is right around the corner. I think there's like 4 or 5 weeks of school left. April 26th, next week, haircuts from prom with Miss Rice. Go check her out. Razor Shop Barbershop in Knoxville. See Josh, Fink, or Corey. They will get you taken care of. So it's here, guys. It's here. Also, real quick, Big Fact Sports Network. Follow them at 332 Studios. They're doing some big things, and give them some love. But without further ado, I do want to just give a shout out to the tribal chief there. So I miss you being champ, man. But I'm over it. I'm over it. But hopefully things will be remedied by about 11 o'clock Sunday night. I'm giving a prediction early. Little bit of, you know what? To quote the wise man, that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. So I'm hoping I'm right. Please, wrestling gods, end the most boring reign of all time. Please. That's all I ask. Please. But anyway, but not to be a drama queen. I want you to give a round of applause and give the respect, whether you're watching this live or recorded, to my brother, a guy that I consider my brother. We have been close since 2017. And from Louisiana to Tennessee, Miami in between, stars align for that, for a game or something of that nature when drama and life ain't happening. But he's here tonight to bring the heat because it's WrestleMania. So without him, this show doesn't exist. I can't thank him enough for it. Please please give him the love that he deserves as I bring him on. The great, the one, great Larry Frank Jr. How you doing, brother?
What's up, my brother? What's up? Now, Stallion, you need to stop now. Listen, and I heard when you said I was going to tell you to not say it,
Yeah.
but I'm going to tell you like I told you before. When you came to me and told me that you were thinking about doing a platform and it was an inspiration off of us, dude, I can't take credit for none of this because, you know, you and Two Pair and Shane O'Mac, you guys have put together something special. I appreciate myself and D being the inspiration, but you guys are what makes this thing work. Let me tell you something. You got me watching all the way in Louisiana. I don't know nothing about West High School. I've only been through Knoxville one time when I had to go to Kingsport, Tennessee. So I passed through Knoxville on
Hmm.
the way up to Kingsport, Tennessee. And when I passed through Knoxville, there were three things that I thought of. I thought of the mayor of Knox County, Glenn Jacobs.
Glenn Jacobs. Yeah.
I thought of Bianca Belair, and I
Hmm.
thought of the Italian Stallion. So,
The unofficial Marble City mayor, even though there was never an election, but I deemed myself Marble
right,
City mayor. So
right,
now,
right.
brother, I can't thank you enough for your support from afar. And I wish I had the good sound effects that you guys bring to your show. And then, of course, it was so funny the other day when they had the battle between Florida State and Miami.
Yeah,
I loved what Devin said in it, and I chuckled so hard. If I had been on there, you guys would have been cracking up laughing. But he brought up, hey, I don't have that fancy shit Coach Hayes has, or whatever like that. Where and shout out to Coach Hayes too, but
yeah.
in his
Shout out to
show.
Coach
But,
Hayes.
but but it's like, I'd like to get there eventually, but there's money involved, there's time,
Right,
and this is out of the goodness and love and support for these young student athletes, whether they're men, women, young men and women, I should say, and
right.
whatever sport they play at West High School that's offered. I mean, for God's sakes, we have a powder puff football team. We got lacrosse, girls and boys lacrosse that are doing good. I mean, it's stuff that's awesome, and I'm so excited. Any student that's there at West should be so appreciative of what they have. And if we can do a show that supports them, I'm all for it, man, honestly. So, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, brother, we are on the eve of the show of shows, and
Yeah.
it's WrestleMania 41, and let's go back a year. Okay, let's go back a
Okay.
year. All right. So, WrestleMania 40, it was really supposed to be this guy and The Rock, and a
Right,
bunch of fans drove the needle, and that's fine. That's great.
right.
Populate, but you go with what sells the shirts and everything. They wanted Cody Rhodes. Okay, now here's the deal. If there were wanting the Cody Rhodes that basically told Triple H to go fuck himself and slammed that sledgehammer on when they started All Elite
AEW.
Wrestling,
Yeah.
yeah, AEW, that guy wasn't there anymore. That
Right.
wasn't him. Okay. And so, but they had that in their mind. Okay. Yes, he had battled through some injuries. The match with Seth Rollins was a classic where he's fighting with a torn
Okay.
pectoral. Respect,
Hmm.
respect. I never said the guy wasn't a good worker. Where the guy fails is being the total package.
Right.
I'm not saying Reigns is great on the mic either. He had a mouthpiece in Paul Heyman. But you look at Reigns and he can just look at you, and the smirks and the facial expressions. There is a thing called nonverbal communication. And there have been plenty of wrestlers. Brock Lesnar's another one. The guy looks like, the real life Hulk. And then he talks like, "Hi guys," like it's like, no, I wasn't expecting that. Now I'd never tell that to his face. He'd break my teeth. But I'm
Right.
just saying, there's a reason why Paul Heyman was his mouthpiece. But
Right.
the point of it is, certain guys have look. Certain guys are great on a mic. Certain guys can do things in the ring that are above and beyond. And you had a streak of well over 1,300, 1,200, whatever it was. And you picked him to be the guy to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And there were others that could have done it along the way.
Right.
There could have been, I don't know, another name, somebody from another organization that comes in and you build up the feud. And it looks like there doesn't need to be outside interference. Why couldn't it? I mean, look, you got the spectacle of these past guys, but why, Larry, do you bring in all this outside interference to beat the champion? You could have built him up that he didn't need to find ways to cheat, that he was almost indestructible. He was like a real wall, like the real
Right.
wall to topple. And you finally end it. Everybody pops. And then it's the biggest snore fest for the next year. We're talking more about Dominic Mysterio getting play from Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan instead. We're
Right.
more interested in Damian Priest. We're more interested in the climb of your boy Yeet. Jey Uso, main event Jey. There were so many wrestlers that took the year by storm and didn't need a belt or a microphone to cry into every
That's right.
time. But now we're here. Now we're here. And, I know that the company was making a change in direction. You can't speak for Triple H, but you can speak as a lifelong fan, Larry. I want you to have the mic and talk about, what has your thoughts been about wrestling during this reign of this guy that ended this guy's reign in the last year?
Coming in when he came back from AEW, I thought his entrance back, especially with the Seth Rollins feud and the match you alluded to with the torn pec. I mean, he listen, credit to him physically for being able to do that, because I think everybody remembers when he came to the ring and it was first reported like a couple of days before the match that he had torn a pec or injured himself in the gym. So we knew he was injured. But when he comes out, he takes the robe off and you see the purple, the discolored coloration of his pec. And we all remember from Triple H, with the torn quad.
Yep.
I think he tore his pec as well in that last tag team match with Shawn Michaels versus the Brothers of Destruction in Saudi Arabia. He finished. So we know even John Cena tore a pec. So we know the severity of that injury. So to be able to get through that match with Seth Rollins with that injury is definitely a credit to his toughness, and who he is. That I'll give him credit for. And if it was that guy coming in who was the grit, I can deal with Cody Rhodes. What I couldn't deal with, and I used to tell you this all the time in our group chat, the dude is always crying. What's up, Kerry? The dude is always crying. And listen, we know you're Dusty Rhodes' kid. We know Dusty's your dad. Every time he gets on the mic, he starts referencing Dusty, what his dad couldn't win the WWE championship. And I just thought he just used that angle too much. It really became tiring to me because I love Dusty. We grew up on Dusty, And when Dusty passed, just like any wrestler from my childhood that passes, it's like a part of you left. a part of your wrestling life has gone with that wrestler. I can go
Preach.
from Mr. Perfect to Ravishing Rick Rude to Bam Bam Bigelow to, you know, the Big Boss Man. You know, I can just go on and on. Just a couple of months ago when Sid Vicious passed away. Sid Vicious passed away. You know, the master, the ruler of the world. I can go on and on for a wrestler that has passed. And Dusty was one of those guys that those battles with him and Ric Flair as a kid, that's what helped shape your fandom if you were coming up in the 80s like I was, if you're an 80s kid. So fast forward to Cody, when he couldn't beat Roman 2 years ago due to outside interference, I'm like, okay, this chapter should be over.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else should rise to the ashes. Now, if you want Cody to become a champion later on, fine. But we don't want a repeat of this, especially when it was the fans who cried and clamored after The Rock was going to be the one to face Cody. Mm-hmm. They did this. So the promos were just watered down. And it's nothing against Cody as a person. He's a likable guy. I like him as a person. I think he's a great human being. He's a great guy. Mm-hmm. It's just that his persona and who he is just not it. And even if you look at these promos with John Cena the last couple of weeks overseas, I really believe they held John Cena back. You're talking about the same guy that cooked the mic on the Rock, cooked the Rock on the mic a few years ago when they had their feud. Yep. You're talking about the same John Cena who basically helped Roman become a better deliverer of promos. Yep. Because when Roman forgot his promo and he stumbled, and Cena was like, we all remember those iconic words, it's called a promo. If you're going to be in this business, you got to learn how to do it. Go ahead, I'll wait. And Roman got so pissed, he forgot where he was. He's like, shut up, John. Shut up, John. John Cena is just a monster with promos, always has been. Always. So I really believe when they had their promo battle a few weeks ago, the last couple of weeks, I think they held Cena back. Yep. Even though Cena, to me, gave him some business as per se, John Cena didn't go in like we know John Cena. And I think it was really to save face for Cody, to help Cody's case, because I think everybody's kind of tired of Cody. You know, before we get into breaking down the matches, I'll just say this. I was kind of wishing when Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble that Jey would have went for Cody, because what better way to take the title off of Cody than to bring it back to the bloodline? And it's not Roman. That's what I would have. Exactly. Yep. That's what if I was Triple H and creative, that's what I would have did, because Cody, and especially with John Cena on his retirement tour, now we didn't know he was going to go heel, but you just had so much more you could have did with that. And then eventually you could have probably had Roman rise back up to fight Jey, or if they wanted to build Jacob Fatu or so, whoever. I just think it would have made so much sense, being that Cody had to deal with the bloodline for 2 years, finally overcoming it last year, have Jey select him. And then if John was going to be the one to win a 17 championship and break Flair's streak, do it against Gunther, because Gunther has the charisma of a tree. Yeah. Nobody would have gave a shit if Gunther loses to John Cena.
Preach. And here's the thing, it matches up body-wise too. Gunther being this big, strong, Drago, Cena maybe being Rocky, like that right. Matchup right there. And then you do have that. Finally come on. So let me bring them on, because I know they got a lot to say too. So let me bring him on properly. We got our other guy who's back in the studio too. I know he's having a little bit of technical difficulties, but first and foremost, let's bring on the Mr. 2003 West, the voice of the Running Rebels and Lady Rebels for 19 years. He's going on 20, baby. That's a generation next season. And he is the voice of the Pellissippi State Panthers and Lady Panthers. Give him a mic. He entertains. The one, the only, two-pair Tate. Brian Tate, what is up, baby? How you doing?
What it does, baby. What it does.
I acknowledge you. I acknowledge you. I acknowledge you, two-pair, my tribal chief.
Baby. So there we go. So
hey, it's an honor to be on this show with you. I don't know if James even asked you the question.
No, I was waiting for you to ask that. I was waiting for you to ask that. So
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I got one of the best young MCs. We're working on his project right now.
Oh no.
And I said, awesome. You know what, Big Totem? I said, I forgot I got to do this podcast. I said, we're 23 minutes late, but this young dude is gonna set the standard in Southern hip hop, and I'm glad I'm working on this project and just giving them some morals to the game, because I think brothers like this are gonna change the world. And we got WrestleMania weekend, and I got on my Ron Simmons shirt.
Damn, I love it. Damn.
And we got the legend Larry. Oh, I like what we're doing here.
Old school,
I like
baby.
What we're doing
Old
here.
School. So yeah.
We got the legend Larry Frank Jr. And I gotta ask you this question, L. Frank.
Yes, sir.
Who was the first person to bust your ass in any sport?
Ooh, man. I got to go back to, now I'm telling my age here because it's middle school now, but in our day.
Middle school's first time. This is good. I like this.
Hold up.
Okay.
I got to go back because I don't categorize it as middle school. It was junior high.
Oh, yeah.
So
all right.
I'm telling my age. Just like I said on the last show, I think you said your sister was class of 95 when you were reeling off everybody. I'm class of 95. So
that's why you're my big brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm the old guy. So we had a jamboree. It was a junior high jamboree.
Yes, sir.
And we weren't playing 4 quarters. We were playing like I think 2 8-minute halves because we had halves, all of the schools in the parish, because that everywhere else is counties in Louisiana.
In Louisiana. Yep.
So I was originally a fullback. They wanted me to play fullback. I did not want to do it. I was always a guy that played defense. That's where I wanted to be. So I'll never forget. We got to the 3-yard line, and Coach Simmons, our junior high coach, he said, "Frank, this is your time to shine."
Yes,
all
sir.
right, coach, give me the ball. So gap was open. Went on through. I'm thinking I'm going to dance in there. Like I'm ready to spike the ball. And I thought I was Willie White Shoes Johnson. I was ready to, do my thing. You know what I'm saying? So
he was ready for it.
The lane opened. I went through. And before I could get to the goal line, I don't even know who the kid was.
Wow.
Dude just comes from out of nowhere. And I feel like I'm about to cross the goal line. And he just, boom. And brother, when I tell you, I fell back on my back and the ball flipped out of my hand and went backwards. I think it went back about 6 yards. And after that, coach was like, "You ain't playing fullback no more." That was the first one.
This one time.
One time. That was the first one. The most notable one that I got was by Kevin Falk when we played Karen Crow High School in a spring scrimmage.
LSU legend. New England Patriot legend. Kevin Falk.
Kevin Falk played for Karen Crow High School. We had a spring scrimmage against Karen Crow. We went out there to play them, and he was running the football, and he got on the edge. So I got off the block, and I thought I was just going to force him out of bounds. So as I go to try to, kind of force him out of bounds, he does a stutter step. I square up. I'm thinking I'm going to wrap him up. He puts the head down, he trucks me, and his cleats go right through my numbers. I turn around and look and watch him just run me over. But I was cool with that because it was Kevin Falk. So
it was a legend. It wasn't some Rudy Poo guy. It was,
nah. And he was, listen, what you saw at LSU when he played, what you saw with the Patriots, he was that dude in high school. Actually, him and Marshall Falk are cousins.
I figured that name's not common. They had to have been related.
Marshall's got family.
People got to remember about Trev Falk, who was the linebacker with Brady James
he was
on those
built
teams.
like
That's another cousin as well.
He's a monster, Trev Falk. Yeah.
I would say him, the Falk family, and the Hilliards out of Patterson, because the Hilliards, Dalton, Ike Hilliard, Isaac Hilliard, and they were just. Listen, everybody talks about the Mannings, but no, the Hilliards were a football. Kenny Hilliard a couple of years back.
Is Ike Hilliard part of that too from Florida? Is Ike Hilliard part of that? Or
Ike is Dalton's nephew.
Dalton's
Dalton's
nephew.
nephew.
Yeah, Ike
Yeah.
played at Florida with Danny Warfel and that
Riddell Anthony and Chuck
Green
Green.
era.
Yep. They
Yeah.
were badass. Yeah, they were.
Patterson High School. So yeah, you know, our little state, you know, we per capita, I got, you know, James will tell you, I always shout out Louisiana on Facebook and everything, because I want my damn respect too. You know, everybody talks about Florida and Texas and Cali and Ohio.
Dude,
per capita,
dudes.
Louisiana is top 5 in the country for producing NFL talent.
Hell yeah, that is.
And if you look at the areas of Monroe, you look at the areas of Shreveport, you look at the areas of Slidell.
Yes, sir.
The boys bring it.
Guys, Ed Reed,
know about football.
Ed Reed, Reggie Wayne, yeah, they went to Miami, but they weren't Florida homegrown. That was Louisiana homegrown.
There are 5 boroughs, real quick, I'll give it. It's 5 boroughs of Louisiana. Monroe is the northeast side of the state. So you got those big corn-fed linemen and those big horses, them running backs and big fullbacks come out of the northeast corner of the state. The second borough is Shreveport. That's the western side of the state, which is basically East Texas.
Louisiana.
So a lot of what you have. Right. Well, Louisiana is in Ruston, which is closer to Monroe. Okay. So Shreveport, but that's an hour apart. So it's all pretty much in the middle. Yeah. So then you have central and southwest Louisiana, which is basically the same type of athletes right there. But when you get to where I'm at, I'm down what we call the river parishes. That's where Ed Reed is from.
Parishes, okay.
Ed Reed is from the river. You know, you got so many players, you know, just talent-wise. I mean, our high schools, every year for the championships, we got at least 3 to 4 schools just from the river parishes that make the state championships in the different classifications.
Man, that's
and
beautiful.
Then Baton Rouge and New Orleans, that's like the southeast borough and all of that. So, yeah, man, you know, when I look at like Warwick Dunn, he's from Baton Rouge. He went to Florida State.
Went to Florida State.
Yeah, I mean,
won a championship as a freshman, catching a touchdown from the new head coach of FAMU University, Charlie Ward.
Mr. Ward. Yeah.
Well, so here's the deal. There's a guy that's been itching to get on. I think he's having a little technical issues, but he's been dealing with some things. But he's on tonight because it's WrestleMania. Everybody, live or recorded, even in this room, give it up for our stats guy, our coach. We've been missing him, damn it. And he's back tonight. Let's bring him on. Mr. Shane McGee, what is up, baby?
Here comes the money.
He took it right out of my mouth. I was going to sing it, but he didn't.
I'm glad. I thought about saying it, but I was like, I don't think they're going to do it.
I love it.
What up, Shane? What up, coach? What up, baby?
What's up? What's up? I've missed y'all motherfuckers.
Oh,
my phone going to disconnect. What the hell?
Getting close to the spring. I saw the post and I shared it. Spring football next Monday. Can you believe it? And it culminates with the spring game on May the 9th. Man. We'll be live from there at West High Stadium. So for our second annual spring game, and this time we'll be at home. We'll be in the friendly confines of Bill Wilson Field.
Can I say this? What are we doing for as food purposes for this? We got to go all out like Catholic does.
Yeah, we need to do something. I mean, I don't know if we do pizzas or something.
I don't know. Let's do wings.
Just something.
Yeah, I feel like we need to get nappy wings. We need to get pizza because I feel like these guys are well deserving. Like we're about to witness a senior class. We're on WrestleMania weekend though.
I know.
And we've got spring football. Like, this is the best time to be alive.
The draft is next weekend. The draft is Thursday through Saturday next week. Yeah. So NFL draft.
You're coming off the WNBA draft. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. You're just coming off of the WNBA draft.
Yes, sir.
That's becoming entertaining now. I enjoyed watching it the other night.
I enjoyed it as well. I never thought. I thought it would take time for the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say softball is right behind. If softball creates a league to the expectations of what we saw in '97, I think the women's leagues, soccer, softball, volleyball, it's going to be a little bit bigger now because we're seeing that women's movement again, and it's a different type of women's movement where the fellas. We watching the WNBA about as much as we watching anything, boss. Like
It's
this
true.
weekend,
It's
this
true.
weekend for us is our weekend. WrestleMania is our Super Bowl. If you're a wrestling fan, this is our week, our weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, no, it's pretty awesome, honestly, and I'm glad that we that we have Shane back. He's actually setting up right now. Thumbs up. I'll bring him back on. But it's WrestleMania weekend. I sent the matches. We'll do predictions at the end. But first and foremost, Larry and I have already started talking about it, two pair. I'd love to get your thoughts. Obviously, this is going to the final match of the two nights. Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Is it the end of the worst title reign in history, or do they continue? I mean, here's the thing. I just like I said, it was exciting. I said this, Larry.
The story was exciting.
The story was exciting. But here's the thing. Were we cheated out of let me tell you something. Rock looked good in that tag team match that him and Rock. What was it? It was Cody.
It was close to 2001 Rock.
I mean,
he was 2001 Rock.
And what that told me is him and Roman could have torn the fucking house down if they had been given the chance. But it happened, unfortunately.
I'll take you back to this. I want you to go back. It's two things that let you know that the fans ruined it. If you go back to the previous SmackDown in September when they were in Denver, Colorado, when Austin Theory, The Rock came back, when Pat McAfee was in the ring with Austin Theory, the pop that he got, the fans can boo him all they want right now, but the fans still love The Rock prior to them messing it up with the Cody Crybaby thing. Mm-hmm. That was the first part, but I will never forget. It was the night of the national semifinal with the Michigan game. When The Rock showed up, and I watched a replay of Raw, and The Rock said, "Where should I sit? Should I sit?" And then he ends it up, "Or should I sit at the head of the table?" You could hear a pin drop. The scene was set. And I don't know why people lost their mind when The Rock came out a couple of weeks later on that SmackDown when Cody gave up his WrestleMania spot.
Yes, sir.
Because I was ecstatic. I'm
yes,
like,
sir.
this is what we wanted.
Me too.
This is what we wanted.
Yes.
This is what was planned prior, but it couldn't happen because of contractual obligations. Mm-hmm. Now The Rock is ready to make it happen, especially as the head of the board of TKO. So he can call more shots and really implement himself more into the storylines like he wants. And then the next day, when Twitter and every social media outlet was going crazy, like, going off on him, like, wait a minute. Now y'all don't like The Rock? Y'all loved The Rock when he was up here roasting people on the mic all them years. Now all of a sudden you don't like him because of Cody Rhodes?
Now he's heel worthy. Now he's back to the obnoxious Rock that they didn't agree with.
The 2003 Rock. The 2003 Rock before he became full Hollywood. So,
Yes.
Playing the guitar and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, can I also throw this out there, guys? And when Shane does get set up and join us, I'd love his opinion too. I also think the other thing that's really just kind of, I don't know if ironic is the right word or not, but you wish that The Rock would come back and then he's there. And this is like, you talk about eras, like, Roman versus The Rock. I mean, and the fact that they're both in the shape to do this. And here's the other thing too. And this might have affected Cody's run since he won this and so forth. You talked about the promos, Larry. I'll say this. The wrestlers, that the feuds weren't there. There was no heat. There was no, when Roman, you kept wondering if it's Big E that's going to do it, or it's going to be what's his name, the Clay Bar,
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. There were dudes built up. That is this going to be the guy that does it, and there's not been that. In this entire year. And I'll tell you this, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for Cody, but I wonder, because The Rock did have obligations with the acting and the other stuff and everything of that nature, we got robbed of a potential, not that I would ever throw Cody as Stone Cold, please, no. But the way Stone Cold McMahon happened could have been Triple H if his body hadn't failed him, because
Right.
Triple H's heart is the issue. Triple H still
Right.
looks like he's in great shape. You
And
know, if
Triple
he
H
didn't have
like
a
he
heart
can still
problem,
get it. Like
Triple H could have been an even better Vince McMahon that would be like,
Absolutely.
you're the wrestler, I'm the boss, kiss my ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Type of a thing for real. And Vince pumping up with steroids and, using the Stooges to get an upper edge. Is I think that Cody would have benefited from Triple H, being like, okay, this guy's going to be the asshole that takes you out, jackass, because of what you did with the sledgehammer at AEW all those years ago. I've not forgotten that. So there's things that unfortunately the stars didn't align.
But
that
he
we're
had to
getting
build
cheated
himself
out of.
up, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Cody had to build himself up, and it's weird because a lot was handed to Cody very early.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? A lot was handed to him, and then he gets to a level. He gets to a level now to where you see he's very charismatic and he's over. But as a champion, the story is greater than him going on as a champion. Like he just hasn't been he hasn't been a noteworthy champion.
He's been mid. He's been mid
Very
as a
mid.
champion. And I think if Cody Rhodes would have sold his soul to The Rock, I'd be more interested in Cody Rhodes if he retains the title, being a champion, being a heel champion, because it would have added.
If they had rode the whole Rock beating the crap out of him last,
It's okay. Yep.
If they had rode the whole Rock beating the crap out of him last year, leading up to WrestleMania 40, and then him selling his soul this year, would made it 100% better. But if you built up to it the whole year, we'd be more invested in him as a champion.
Right.
We already know what's going to happen this weekend. Zena's going to break the record.
Yeah.
He'll ride the heel turn for the rest of the year. I mean, it's already written out. Like you can already tell what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if Cody had sold his soul, say 2 months in, slowly did it, and they used the Rock more, it'd be a more entertaining package on TV. We've been invested like we were with the Bloodline.
Right.
And then I've been trying to watch it. It's not as investing now.
It's not.
And then you could have literally rode the whole, which side is the Rock on? Is it on Solo side or is it on Roman side?
Yeah. There's so
many
opportunities.
Cody could have came out.
The ball.
Cena could have came out, and that could have been the deciding factor on who determines which one is the true bloodline at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't call yourself the final boss and be gone since 2 weeks after WrestleMania?
Yeah. And also Larry brought up something before you jumped on, Shane. I don't know if you heard him. He had a great point. Why not have Jay challenge for this one and let, John Cena take on Gunther for the other one? You know what I mean? But we didn't get heel Cena. That's the other thing too. But
we should have got heel Cena years ago.
Yeah, blame Vince McMahon for that. I mean, Cena wanted to be heel, but Vince, for whatever reason, did not want to let him go heel. I guess because of the Make-A-Wish stuff and
can I throw this out there?
I think we're seeing if you watch like the reality shows that Xena did, we're seeing the real Xena.
Yeah.
Xena, the one that Nikki Bella, like he threw her like trash to the side, man.
Yeah. Xena is a control freak.
He treated her. You know how he treated her. We watched her. We watched it.
Yeah.
It was straight Bell Biv. It was Bell Biv DeVoe. Smack it up, flip it, and rub it down.
It was over. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too. Like you brought up. I mean, that's a great point, Shane. About
great
Cena.
point.
Here's the other thing too, guys.
Oh, we got him froze.
The money. Last I checked, the kids ain't working, man. It's us. And if it's a heel Cena, I'm buying that damn shirt. that looks like Fruity Pebbles or anything like that. I mean, look at this. I bought all of Roman's stuff because I thought that shit was cool. The tribal chief, acknowledge me, all that stuff. That was awesome, right?
But
there.
you got to think of,
could have been Cena years ago.
You got to think of Cena. His comparison is kind of like Hulk Hogan.
It is.
It is.
Like, think
and
about
he was an asshole. He was a real asshole, and they made him,
you can't put Hogan and Cena in the same page because Hogan is truly a piece of shit human being.
Oh, he's horrible.
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as
their value to the industry.
Yeah. When we look at value to the industry, look at you. Do you remember the night that Hulk Hogan turned heel on that Sunday?
On that Nitro.
Bash at the Beach when Bobby Heenan.
When he finally
do you remember what that did to you as a child or as a teenager?
I was in college. I remember that. I mean, we went the next day. Me and my wrestling buddies, like we cut class, in the student union talking about it.
We were probably in 7th grade when that happened.
You were, because I was in 8th grade when it happened. Yeah. Great. I was in 8th grade. You're in college, Larry. So yeah.
You just remember where you were, how it happened, and then you remember when Cena turned heel, and it's almost picturesque, and it's like life coming full circle because you're like, damn, I see this at my little school life, and now I'm watching this at my adult life.
Right.
The way I look at it is we were fed a complete BS version of Hogan our whole life.
That's why I hate him.
But Cena, if you look behind who he is, you could tell that he would naturally been a better heel. Because think about when he first came out and the whole
Word Thug Life, what was that? So yeah.
No. Let's go back to the Kurt Angle match.
Oh yeah, from when he was OVW.
Ruthless aggression.
Yeah.
You could tell he was there to cause chaos.
Yeah.
And they were ready to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he figured out a way to make it work. We're seeing the real Cena, and he's showing who he is. Hogan refuses to show who he truly is.
Right. Can I throw this out there, Shane?
Yeah. Oh, you froze up.
Vince so you said something really great that I want to articulate. Can we also now say, knowing what has come about, the true colors came out about Hulk Hogan? Can we also say that the true colors came out about Vince McMahon? Because here's the thing. The face of the company is really an extension of Vince McMahon. And we know what a piece of shit he really has been all these years. But to be fair, he's put that face out there like, oh, I'm a hero. Like people should be thanking me.
But at some point, the hero becomes the villain.
And yes.
But
and
Vince,
took the words out of my mouth. Yes.
But Vince technically showed who he really is through entertainment. Those sick perversion versions of him, the racist versions of him, where he drops the N-word towards Cena and Booker's looking at him.
Yeah,
that's the real Vince.
The Kiss My Ass Club, that's the real Vince too. So yeah, for sure. So yeah, or what about when DX said that he loves cocks? Honestly, now that takes a whole new meaning with what that young lady.
I mean, Shawn Michaels would know best, right?
Yeah, I mean he would. So
I had a dream during Black History Month that we go back to that clip where my man Vince McMahon drops the N-word and then Booker T hauls off on him, and then there's a dark side of the ring where Vince McMahon said, I wanted you to do that because I wanted you to teach a lesson to the millions of people who have misused that word. And if I said it out my mouth, see, that would have helped Vince. See, Vince isn't you're not thinking of what it looks like as a portrayal of you dropping that word. And then we go deep here on Rebels with a Cause.
Let me add to that with Booker T. And I love Booker T because I remember when him and Stevie Ray came in, and then he had his solo career. But as of late, I'm just having issues with Booker T, and I'm
I
gonna
don't
tell you
rock
why.
with it.
I don't rock with it.
I don't rock
with
with
it. Or
if you saw the Swerve Strickland, what Swerve had to say about Booker T on the Vlad interview, basically Booker T, because you go back to that, why would you sign on? I don't listen. I know Vince was a powerful man.
Very.
But as a black man, I don't care what it is. I am not going to sign on to let you drop that kind of word and
in front
of me and make fun. Secondly,
because we got some problems. There's some furniture
problems. And not only that, the second instance of Booker T, why I don't respect him.
Yes,
when
sir.
him and Triple H had their rivalry going into their WrestleMania match, and Triple H said, "Be a good boy and dance for me," and the nappy hair and all of this stuff. You're making all of these stereotypical references. You went with it that time, and you jobbed the Triple H.
Let's go back to DX and the Nation of Domination and the blackface.
Yes.
When Ezark Henry. Oh my.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Vince signed off on it.
He did.
I'm like, I got black in my family. It's further back in my generation, and I've been given my card. I don't use it, but there's certain lines you don't cross.
Right.
No.
And
you want to know something? You want to know something? If you think about it, after that whole thing, Nation of Domination was buried after that. Rock was the only one that moved on. Luckily, Ron Simmons, being how talented he is, Godfather found a stick.
But
Ron
look
Simmons
at Godfather's look at the stick he had to use. He had to be a pimp.
With a bunch of hookers.
With a bunch of women of the night.
Godfather went through so many transformations. He was a voodoo doctor, Papa Shango. He was a human wrecking machine, Kama
Mustafa.
We couldn't make Zeus become a wrestler because he was more stiffer than you know what and you know when if you in a party with two of them twins.
That's right.
That's how stiff he was.
What about when he signed on Crime Time?
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot about that with Crime Time. So that's right.
I mean, if you were a wrestler, and I like I said, I don't want to get off of the WrestleMania, but since we're on the subject of Vince and his history, if you want to look at Vince when it came to wrestlers of color, there was a lot of stereotypical stuff. I'll give you one more example. Go look it up on YouTube. When Vince was an analyst, there was a wrestler or no. There was an interview. There was a little girl, a little black girl that was doing an interview in the ring, and she was young. She was like 11 years old or whatever. And she couldn't get her words out right. And Vince then, and I thought about it then, this is like back in 92, 93. I'm like 15, 16. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Vince was like, oh, she's speaking Ebonics.
He said that? Did he say it like that?
He said it just like that. Look it up on YouTube. Vince McMahon, Ebonics. It'll come up. You will see it. And he said it. It was him. Yeah. I don't remember if he was with Bobby Heenan. I think it might have been the 3-person team. But he said it.
Let's look back. Vince grew up in the Northeast.
No, it was Linda that was North Carolina. My bad. You're right. You're right. He's Northeast. You're right.
Yeah, because his dad controlled New York.
Yep.
That was the territory.
You look back at how he grew up. Very privileged. Anyways.
Extremely.
He can talk about he built his company from the ground up. He lives off his dad's work.
His dad gave it to him. Yeah,
but that dude ain't never been around a black person in his life.
Never.
No.
Until he started taking over WWF, WWE in his dad's territories.
Right.
I'll say a name.
And he didn't have anybody black until it came to pulling in the guys from the 70s and the 80s and taking them from other territories.
Junkyard Dog, Coco Beware. Those were like the first
How about this one? I'm going to say a name right now. And I think it was one of the most disrespectful things that was ever done, honestly. Ahmed Johnson. And who was he fighting for the championship there? Was it Yokozuna or somebody? He had him beat. And Raw goes off the air. Doesn't normally do the extra 5 minutes that they used to do back in the day when they were on USA. And it's like, we're gonna do the match the following week. Ahmed Johnson gets squashed or whatever like that. But Ahmed Johnson had Yokozuna beat. And I don't understand that,
to make matters worse, what about when they let the angle go with Goldust and Ahmed Johnson and Goldust kissed him?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Do
my
you
God.
think in real life a guy like Ahmed Johnson will get kissed by another dude?
He would break his throat. He would.
Yeah, like some of the stuff that happens. And I talked to Tom Pritchard about this at his wrestling school because we've done some good things, man. Like I've known Tom Pritchard for a long time, not just from his wrestling days, but for all the accounts that we've set up at that wrestling school. And I told him I've wanted to be in the business for a long time doing character development.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? And he even said, like, if you're able to really give the character development for, not just African Americans, but just people, you can show a wide range of diversity that would help the business in a way that we don't have these stereotypes anymore. Like, there's got to be a sense of transparency and some things of reality, because you wouldn't say that to a brother like Larry Frank or me if you ever saw us face to face, because we're kind of wired differently because of ancestry and now player.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure. Yeah, and if you think about it, like God, man, you brought up the thing about Booker T and Triple H. What about when
you felt it?
Yeah, and what about when Triple H came back from the quad injury, the second one, and King Booker had pretty much owned the whole summer, and that's a damn squash match at SummerSlam, and that's when he debuted that whole King of Kings thing or whatever like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Let me tell you
terrible.
this. Let me tell you this about Booker T, where they dropped the ball with Booker T.
Mm.
Booker T, after Sting, because Sting never made it to WWE until that 2014 run when he was past his prime.
He was way past
He was past his prime.
Yeah.
But when they acquired WCW, of all the WCW alum that was coming over,
Preach.
Booker T was probably your hottest opportunity to convert a WCW guy into a WWE superstar.
Yes.
With everybody else.
Yes.
That was coming over.
Absolutely.
And they dropped the ball. I mean, you got, let's call it what it is, five time. Come on, man. Yeah. He did that at the latter part of WCW's tenure before Shane bought him. Mm-hmm. So why not take Booker T at the time and don't relegate him to being slapstick butt of jokes? I mean, not just the racial stuff with Vince and with Triple H. Look at the supermarket fight with Stone Cold.
Got his ass whooped.
Yep.
I think bingo? I think they were in a bingo hall and he got, and then you gave him an English. What black man do you know? King Booker. Come on, man. Ain't no brothers. Come on, man. I just
they dropped the bomb. Like, that's why I say, like, Ron Simmons held it to, like, Farouk. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
APA, there was some shit Ron Simmons wasn't gonna let you do.
No. And listen, I can't even pretend because
let's even go with just the catchphrase with Ron Simmons. Just damn.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm going to throw this out there just because I'm going to come at it from the Spanish side of it or whatever, because I can't even, because I'm not black. I'm not, but the thing that I can tell you though is, think about this, guys. Vince McMahon made Chavo Guerrero become a guy named Kerwin White with the slogan that said, if it's not white, it's not right. And only changed him back to Chavo because Eddie died. Eddie died.
Let's even go. Let's go with Scott Hall.
He beat me to it.
Yeah. Scott Hall. Yes.
That was one of the biggest heists in wrestling. Let me tell you something.
I thought he really was Spanish, but
I did too. I thought he was really Spanish as well. I mean, when I found out that he was a white guy named Scott Hall, I'm like, what? That's almost as bad as Nikita Koloff. He's a white guy from Minnesota. He's not Russian.
He ain't Russian.
Yeah,
he's not. Kamala's from I want to say Pearl River, Louisiana. Same
Wow.
area as Ahmed Johnson. His name is James Harris.
The Ugandan giant is actually from Meridian, Mississippi.
Meridian, Mississippi, down here. He ain't nowhere near. Come on, man.
What about Kofi Kingston? He wasn't even Jamaican, remember? And they debuted him as being Jamaican.
When he broke the accent, and Triple H is like, "Oh, I thought you were Jamaican," and he's just like, "Oh."
Isn't he from Senegal?
Ghana. I think his mom was like an ambassador for Ghana or something.
The amount of friends I have from Ghana is actually unreal.
Hey, you want to flip it? You want to flip it? I'll give you one that'll flip all of y'all out.
Okay.
The one man gang became Prince Akeem.
Holy shit! Yeah.
What he used to do?
It was the worst dance I have ever seen. I mean, and Slick was his mouthpiece.
Jive Soul Bro. Jive Soul Bro.
Here we go. Here we go. Are we talking Wu-Tang Prince Akeem with RZA?
No, Prince Akeem. When the one man gang.
The one man gang.
I know.
Remember, they went to the hood, and then next thing you know, some bunch of tribal dancers, and then you get Prince Akeem.
The African Dream. That's what and he wasn't even black. I mean, my God.
Not even close. Not even close. So you go from being off of Halstead Street in Chicago to coming from, Africa or whatever. Come on, man. I'm just.
Oh my God.
I'm over it.
Horrible.
And to be honest with you, that's one of my favorite characters of that time.
Yeah.
What about Virgil? What about poor Virgil?
Like, they got a white dude talking jive and acting black. Like this is what we've gotten to as being an elementary kid who's infatuated with this and knowing that that's some bullshit.
Yeah. Well, do you know the sad thing? Did you want to know the sad thing? The only thing I can remember, Virgil was beaten up as Vincent and NWO, whatever. But do you know I still have that thought in my head when he had to remove the fungus from Ted DiBiase's toes, the vignettes leading up to when he beat him for the $1 million belt at SummerSlam '91. I mean, my gosh, that
Virgil went
horrible.
Through some hell.
He did, man. Virgil got so disrespected. So my God.
Think about Virgil getting his ass whooped by Hercules when Hercules was a slave. Look at the stuff that went on. I know we're off subject, but I'm so glad that Larry Frank is here because this is wrestling night, and
it's a wrestling.
I want Larry Frank to be on this show as much as he can, but I know he's busy with a ton of stuff in his podcast. And you talk, it is an honor, it's a pleasure. And we got Shane O'Mac back here. Hey, Stallion.
It feels like a family reunion tonight, man. I love it.
Hey, Stallion, nobody don't do a podcast like we do, boss.
Fuck
We don't do it like us, boss.
That's what it is right there, baby. That's what it is right there. So
they don't do it like us, boss.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
The dub is for WrestleMania this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about past WrestleManias. We're naming wrestlers that were in past WrestleManias that were disrespected or not even on the damn card. This is the next question I want to ask you guys real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Better with two nights or do you miss the old night? Because I would venture to say the only great thing that came out of COVID was that there's two nights now. That's the only thing you can say great came out of COVID.
I feel like having two nights.
We get two main events that tie us into it. We get two main events that tie us into seeing it.
Here's what I would want though. Do the Hall of Fame early. Do the Hall of Fame around 7.
Yeah.
It's coming on tonight at 1 a.m. I believe.
See, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Put the Hall of Fame at 7. In the Hall of Fame at 10. At 10:30, 11, have the NXT WrestleMania that Friday night.
Stand and deliver. Yep.
Stand and deliver, right? Have Stand and Deliver as its own WrestleMania for NXT as the development. See, you paint a weekend then. You didn't tell a story like the NFL does with their Super Bowl weekend. Mm-hmm. Paint a story. You got the Hall of Fame from 7 to 10. You've got NXT Stand and Deliver. Then Saturday night begins the big boys. Sunday night begins the big boys. And then Monday night, you recap all that shit from Friday.
That's right. That's right. Can I also throw this out there too?
Yeah, throw it in there.
I'm glad for once that we don't have the Final Four and WrestleMania on the same weekend. That cannot happen. That cannot happen anymore. I hope that wrestling has learned something, that it can't be on a weekend with UFC. It can't like I'm just saying, like, it needs to be its own weekend, and we need that weekend because the Final Four was amazing. I mean, could you imagine if you didn't have what you had and you're competing? I mean, that sucks.
James, you want to hear a story?
Sure.
The two WrestleManias I went to, Atlanta and Miami, those are like my second homes.
Yep.
The two WrestleManias I went to, I had tickets for the Final Four and couldn't go.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, because it was always the first weekend in April. I mean, and I'll give it to them. At least they pushed it to like the second weekend in April, past the Final Four. So it's a good. It's a good
it needs
time
to stay that way. I think it needs to stay that way. If I,
I'm still debating if I'm gonna go next year because it's in New Orleans. It's down here in New Orleans.
Oh yeah,
you should.
I looked at some ticket packages. They already started to sell, but hey, 2-night packages, the cheapest I've seen are like $1,200 for 2 nights.
I think that the way I'd look at it, Larry, it's a once in a lifetime experience, I mean, because when was the last time they were in New Orleans? That was when Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar. Or have they been there since?
No, this is the third WrestleMania in New Orleans in like the last
Orleans has been there.
12
New
years.
Orleans has had it at least 3 times.
Put it to you like this. Every time New Orleans has a Super Bowl, WrestleMania comes the year after.
Yeah,
that's how they've been doing it. Yeah, that's how they've been doing it. So whenever New Orleans bids for that,
does that mean Nashville gets it when we get the new stadium?
Well, they were talking about that, but now the damn stadium's been delayed. So now WrestleMania 43 that was supposed to be in Nashville is up in the air. I don't know where it's going to be. So
that's crazy.
There's enough contractors around here that we can get that done.
Yeah, because
so they're changing Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, they're going to build it next door.
We're getting a dome.
We're getting a dome, a retractable dome, more friendly. It can host concerts. I mean, it's going to be a big deal for Nashville.
What we're trying to get is, college playoffs is what it truly comes down to.
Yeah.
Hell, they could maybe even get a Final Four. I think Nashville would be an awesome city to host.
I think Nashville. See, I would love to see if you're going to do Final Fours. New Orleans is a staple. I want to say Las Vegas could be one of those staples too. I would love to see one in LA. I would love to see one in either Brooklyn or Madison Square Garden for the Final Four.
Yeah.
But see, the reason I think Nashville's going to work.
You got to have like some big stadiums for the Final Four.
The reason I think Nashville will work is when you go back to that NFL draft that we hosted. That shows how many people will flock to the area.
Yeah,
because that was the first alternate location outside Radio City.
Yeah,
music hall.
Yep.
But now we're seeing it.
Slammed.
We're seeing it now, Shane. We're seeing it in Green Bay now.
Yeah.
Is that where it is next week?
But
that's where it's at.
But Nashville set the tone that you can go somewhere else.
It did. Coming off of COVID.
It should. You should have like round robin sites for the NFL draft because I don't think the NFL would charge that much for admission. It's a draft. You're just going into the building, and I mean, it's an opportunity.
All you're doing, that one was held on Broadway.
Yeah, you got fans of all the teams.
Only seeing 100 guys come on stage.
My cousin,
maybe less than that.
You're only there for the first round and maybe the second round. After the second round, you don't get a bar
that's half a block from Broadway, and I was talking to her about it. I was like, "Hey, what was it like when the draft was here? It's just been a few years." She's like, "I made more money that weekend than I'm making a year."
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin brings in 6 figures running a bar in Nashville.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, like, you bring WrestleMania to, because that's right there in the Broadway is right there in the sports district.
I'm going to tell you this, Shane. SummerSlam was amazing 3 years ago when I went to that. Larry knows I went to that. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, and then the Sunday was the Ric Flair retirement match that had nothing to do with WWE, and that was in a separate thing. It was wrestling all weekend. I loved it. It was one of my favorite weekends, honestly.
But you built that new stadium, which is right there in the sports district and right there on Broadway. You're going right across that pedestrian bridge across the river to everything that is Nashville that brings every single person there. You get WrestleMania in Nashville, if they get that stadium done like they need to, oh my God. That place is going to be slammed. You'll have people flying into Knoxville to drive there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
absolutely,
it's going to be crazy.
I do want to bring up another big match with a lot of star power that I think is going to steal the show. It's either going to be really good or really bad, but I just don't think it will because of the characters involved and with Heyman betraying Roman and going with CM Punk now, and then
it's not a betrayal.
It's not a betrayal,
favor.
though. That's true. That's true. But I think that tomorrow night, this main event is going to be incredible with these three gentlemen in the ring. In my opinion, it's not this. We were cheated of ever getting Stone Cold Rock and Triple H at the same time. It should have happened. It never did. People were injured, shit, politics, whatever. But you got it happening now. And look what it took to even get this. Punk leaving for a while back, Reigns and Rollins through their stuff. I mean, and you're going to have a fabulous night tomorrow night match.
So Stone Cold has always stated he was not going to leave Vegas area. So obviously it's going down there this weekend. Who does he pick? Because he's going to interfere.
He likes Reigns. He actually felt that that's why I heard indirectly that there was bullshit. Somebody said that there was a conflict and he couldn't make it. Come on, it's Mania. It's
come on.
Cold. It was really Stone Cold did not. They offered Stone Cold a lot of money. Stone Cold didn't believe Cody was the guy to knock off Roman. He felt that they could have kept going with Roman for a little bit longer. That's what Stone Cold said in the documentary.
I all felt that way though.
Yeah.
But Stone Cold also feels like whoever's carrying the company the best, he's going to go with.
Yeah, that's true.
The same reason why he would not put over Brock and quit back in, what was that? God, when was that?
2002.
Was that 02? Yeah, I was about to say 02.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, he wasn't putting on Brock.
I mean, he's still a company guy, but he knows the business, and he knows that Roman carries the company just like he carried the company.
Kerry predicts Heyman leaves with Rollins as Rollins wins the match. That would be wow.
Well, wow. I like this because
I can see that.
Punk is the quintessential Heyman guy. The quintessential. Where it gets tricky is because the Rollins Reigns this war, it's like a game within a game, though. With him.
Yeah, it's been that way.
And then with Punk and Rollins, it's beneath the surface. It's like fuck you type shit.
Yeah, no, they hate
so
each other.
They hate each other.
Here's how I see it going. Punk goes for the pin or Roman against each other. Something happens to Rollins to where he's out of the ring. Heyman screws it. Stone Cold comes out.
Okay. Who's the face in this match? Sorry to cut you off, Shane. Who's the face in this match? Rollins? Who's the face?
I would think it's CM Punk.
I think CM Punk's the face.
No,
okay.
I think it's going to be Roman going face.
Because my question is, they can't have two heels in the night.
Roman canceled going face when he pushed Heyman down the other night because when he did that, you heard the boos. Fans didn't like that because remember when Roman was having problems with Solo and Jacob Fatu. Do you remember how the crowd went crazy when Paul Heyman, ladies and like?
But the only reason we get that version of the crowd booing is because of his Hall of Fame. Is because of we got his Hall of Fame. We did his Hall of Fame speech.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like it. I mean, Hall of Fame speech aside, I love Paul Heyman. I'll tell you this:
Paul Heyman guy.
I've been a Paul Heyman guy since he was Paul E. Dangerously in WCW with the cell phone.
With the phone. Hey, Jim Cornette had the tennis racket.
Yep, he had the phone.
Heyman had the phone.
And
So if you
Heyman,
didn't pick up on that as a kid,
Heyman has been a
you
shit
ain't watching the
talker
attention to detail.
all his life. Heyman has been a shit talker since day one. So
Yeah,
I've always loved
Has
Heyman.
he been
Even
a
from
shit? Has he
there,
been a shit talker? Or has he been a truth talker?
that's
both.
true. Both.
He was a truth talker that talked shit when he told the truth.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. And can I say this? Great on the mic. Unbelievable with character development and story writing. Horrible with money. Horrible with money.
If he had a better team around him with ECW, then WWP
there would be no attitude era.
Right.
Think about the guys I'm going to name right now: Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, Rhino,
Taz,
Sabu. Yep.
Sabu.
Yep.
New Jack.
The Dudley Boys.
New Jack. Yep.
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah. Mr. Monday Night.
Yes.
Dean Malenko.
Y'all thought Mick Foley was crazy?
Oh yeah.
Give New Jack. New Jack was worse than Mick Foley.
Like, and not one of the best wrestlers, but
a chance taker. A chance taker. When he took Vic, what was his name? Victor Grimes. When he threw him off the top of the scaffold. And
guys like Mikey Whipwreck had a career.
The dude Vic Grimes literally told him, he said, "Hey man, I can't do this." He said, you ain't gonna feel your legs after this, and threw him off the top of the thing. I mean, it was just crazy.
I want everybody to lean in when I say this real quick. What about the babes in ECW? That was the reason. Right? We got puppies in the Attitude Era. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, Vince literally. I mean, Paul called everything out. Like Vince stole everything that Paul did.
He did. Bischoff too. Bischoff had a bigger pocketbook with Ted Turner's money.
But Bischoff screwed it all up.
Oh God, yeah.
But the thing with Bischoff, the storylines weren't the story. You had a compelling story when you were the one repping that WCW flag and you didn't hold true. Like, if you paint this picture differently, where Eric Bischoff has no involvement with the NWO, it doesn't seem like you're coincided. It got to the point WCW was NWO.
Yeah.
To the point it was WCW, NWO. You let the faction become bigger than the company.
Yes.
You let Hulk Hogan control everything.
But no, here's what I'm saying. Yes. Who's the so-called leader of the NWO?
Hogan.
The faction became large. You never saw, check this out. You never saw the WWF say the Ministry of Darkness. That never happened.
Yeah. That might be the best
can never become bigger than the company.
It was interesting.
I lost count of how many NWO guys you had. I lost count. At one point when they would all come into the ring, it was like 10 to 15 guys. I'm like, okay, this has to be at least a third of your locker room, and it's big names.
Yeah, what was it, Larry? Three limos,
NWO
three
Red,
limos
NWO Latino. You had everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so stupid. That really was.
Oh hell, let's go back to the whole No Limit Soldier Day.
Really being the only WCW guy that came during that invasion angle. You know what I think? If they would have been smart, they could have done the ECW invasion angle because those guys were available. And then when the guys' contracts were like then make sure you got the right WCW guys to do a proper invasion. You rushed that storyline. You did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because had they gone the ECW way, which was who we mainly got. Was better entertainment. But if you want to do the WCW invasion, it wasn't until those guys started missing checks and we got the original NWO.
Yeah, because Steiner came, Goldberg came, the original NWO, like you said. They finally showed up. Those guys, So
yeah, because they were missing the check. But when Hogan, Nash, and Hall showed up, it's like, oh, now this is WCW invasion.
Yeah,
because it was just if they'd done the ECW version first, and then it's like, oh shit, here comes like the heavyweights of the WCW. Then it would have been better. Not we're getting fucking the jobbers coming in. It's like, okay, well, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, like the 8 o'clock hour, the Thunder guys, as I like to call it, because remember that show was just absolutely miserable on Thursday nights.
It was a waste of time.
It really was, man. That was
Thunder was shit.
Thunder was horrible.
Thunder was Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah, it really was. Oh my god,
trash.
It was.
But I will say this though, Superstars, it was a flagship show for Superstars for our era. Like that Saturday morning, and then you got to just like then you get Sunday with All American. And
do you remember All American?
Then you get
You're
Monday,
the man with Mean Gene Okerlund, Two Pair. I love you, man. All American Wrestling, 1 o'clock on Sunday, hosted by Mean Gene Okerlund. I mean, honestly. So yes, yep.
And before Raw on Monday night, when you had Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan in
Primetime Wrestling. Yep.
I was a Primetime Wrestling guy.
Yeah. I used to love
every variation.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how it's evolved! To
we've come a long way. Like you think about it, wrestling has shaped the way we even talk to people who get on our nerves for a certain. Like you become I don't even like the way you brought your analysis to the way that I control these damn reports. If I say the shit is too low, you gotta understand there's no other way to cut by my guidelines.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Woo! I love it. Macho Man back from the dead, man. I'm telling you.
I didn't step into a Slim Jim.
Oh.
Dude.
Credits.
It shaped my life, man. Wrestling has shaped my life.
Credit Stone Cold for everybody just not giving a damn about how they talk to people. Because Stone Cold was the one that I think really just inspired everybody to just take no crap off of nobody and just express themselves freely. And then the freedom to do so.
Cool for us not to give a fuck.
Yeah,
and to tell your boss to go fuck themselves. Honestly.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. No, I mean, I did have this one. I didn't. There's a host of matches. I gave you guys the matches for night 1, night 2. We'll make predictions here in a bit. But are there any other matches from the card, Saturday or Sunday night? Shout them out. What other ones are you looking for?
This one might seem strange because
taking on what's his name, the Claymore. I love to call him Claymore, so that's the thing. So
you love to call him Claymore.
Claymore. It's Drew McIntyre, but the Claymore. Yeah.
But hey, how good has he become from where he was though?
I love him. 3-man band.
I hate him. I hate him.
You hate him?
Now he was, but no, think about it, Larry. He was 3-man band. He was
he has evolved, but Drew McIntyre, he's a crybaby, dude. Like his development,
that's true.
I can't deal with that. And that's why I'm kind of aggravated with Rhea right now, because Rhea is a female Drew McIntyre with her crybaby ways, crying about, not being able, blaming Bianca for her losing her focus to lose the championship to Io. The match, believe it or not, that I'm looking forward to the most, I'm looking forward to Naomi and Jade. And I'm going to tell you why.
We need it. We need it for
the culture. All the matches. Not just that, but of all the matches.
Yes, sir.
The build-up to this match has been the best out of everything, because you got the storyline going all the way back to when Jade was attacked. We didn't know who the attacker was. And then it came out that it was Naomi that attacked her. And I still, in my heart of heart, believe that it's going to come out that Bianca had something to do with it. So you're planting the seeds for that eventual Jade versus Bianca match that's going to take place at some point. Now, I'll say this. I do believe one of those two are going to interfere in the triple threat match.
I agree with that.
It's either going to be Naomi interfering to get back at Bianca to cost her.
Okay.
Because remember, Naomi and Bianca fell out. Or it's going to be Jade interfering to help Bianca win because they're still cool. And the reason why I say Jade may interfere to help Bianca win, 2 reasons. Rhea Ripley, one of the first promos that she had against Bianca, she referenced what was going on. She mentioned Jade's name, and it triggered Bianca. Secondly, I forgot who Jade was wrestling on SmackDown, but when she did her pin, she did a pin very similar to Rhea, and the announcer even said it. So that's telling me that there's going to be a Jade Rhea beef coming up, and what better way to do it? Rhea has EO beef, and then Jade interferes, calls her, and then Bianca wins. I think Bianca's going to win the title. I'm giving one of my predictions away, but going back to Jade and Naomi, just the build-up, because all these other matches, there's really been no build-up to all these other matches.
There really hasn't. There really hasn't.
I feel like you gotta have some type of build-up.
Carrie says better chance that Naomi will interfere and Io will win the match. That's his.
That can happen too.
Right?
Yeah,
I can see Io Shirai is one of the more talented performers, and I really think we're really gonna see what she can do on the big stage like this.
But will they allow Bianca to take her first loss? Because remember, she's undefeated at WrestleMania, and you know
I don't
how
think she takes a loss at WrestleMania.
No, I think she's going to be the new Undertaker for women.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No. And did you guys, real quick, did you guys see the battle between Naomi and Jade on Twitter?
Oh, they're going at it. I didn't see it.
They get feisty.
Two pair. Let me tell you how cold it was. Jade had put up Bianca. Shit. You can tell how much I listen. Don't tell my wife.
Oh, you're good, man.
I gotta thank the Bianca.
Everybody does. She's from Knoxville, Tennessee. She went to Austin East. She raised track. Everybody got to thank her. Everybody got to thank everybody.
Look, I gotta make y'all laugh, because go look on Twitter. You're gonna laugh when you see
I
this.
have to go check this out.
Jade and Naomi have been having a war of words on Twitter. And Naomi said something, and Jade is in the comments talking about, you got ass shots. Your ass isn't natural. You got ass shots. So Naomi comes back and said, the only ass shots I get are from Big Jim. They've been going back. Go look it up. I was laughing so
Jimmy Uso. Way to go, Jimmy.
I was laughing so hard. I'm like, that's why I love this match, because the buildup is just not on television. They're doing it on social media. That's why I want to see how this match ends.
Well, here's the other thing too. Both these women can wrestle. This isn't some, beauty contest. They're going to throw down. I mean, and if they do set up that Jade versus Rhea match, maybe for SummerSlam, Larry, or like they make this feud happen. If maybe she interferes to help Bianca win, that's muscles versus muscles right there. I mean, that is some shit right there.
The women's division is starting to get, as much as I hate to say it, no disrespect to the women, I'm just going to be honest. I think it's more of a letdown on the men's side. The women's division is starting to get more competitive and better than the men's side.
This is what Triple H envisioned 10 years ago, and it's finally come to fruition.
It's coming to fruition, except for Charlotte and Tiffany. I'm sick of that crap.
Yeah.
Triple H has mastered the long story.
He has.
Mm-hmm.
He has. Yeah. No, he appreciates, I think, all different styles of wrestling. You have to have your big guys. You got to have your high flyers. You got to have a women's division. You got to appeal to everything. He's made a tag team division. He's tried, to make that relevant and so forth. I mean, you even got a women's tag team champs, I mean, that's something now, it's a big deal. So, because you've got such a deep roster. Can I give you guys I'm going to talk about another match, and it's like, and maybe I'm being wrong when I say this, but it's like, why? A why match, you know what I mean? And it's AJ Styles versus Logan Paul at this point. And I'm like, why? Why? I mean, don't we have enough of the Pauls already on YouTube and everything like that? And if this is AJ's last match, why couldn't he have done it against somebody, like that he would want to be retired by, and not just to give a push to somebody? If this
he could have took Kevin Owens' spot and fought Randy. That would have been a good going out match.
That would have been a great match. Different styles.
I would have liked to see LA Knight again or something like that.
Yes.
Give me another LA Knight. Give me something like that.
Yeah. Now that match intrigues me. The LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. That's going to be interesting for the U.S. title.
I'm a big LA Knight fan because he's over, but the Fatu family, I think Fatu takes it. But I do. You know why I like it? LA Knight has gotten over on me. I was late to the party on LA Night, but if you mic skill, ring skill, but Fatu is just a human torture wreck, like just waiting to happen, and it could get ugly.
Fatu is, I don't want to say he's an alternative to Brock Lesnar, but for me, just that wrecking ball, that menace that Brock Lesnar was, is just in a different way.
A new MAGA Brock
Yes,
Lesnar.
Yeah. Because ultimately, the replacement for Brock Lesnar is Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree Braun Breaker is going to be the new Brock Lesnar. And the best part about it is Brock Lesnar just came out of nowhere and just went straight to the top as the next big thing in 2002. And then when The Rock,
Braun has.
Yeah.
Braun is slowly building up. And the best part about it, Braun is better on the mic than Brock ever was. Braun is more, no pun intended, forgive me, Dwayne, but he's more electrifying than Brock ever was with his moveset, the spear, and he's a Nepo baby. I mean, hey, your dad is Rick Steiner. Your uncle is Big Papa Pump. So you got that to go off of. I really believe at some point, Braun is going to be the next Paul Heyman guy. Paul Heyman has to get with Braun Breaker at some point.
And when that happens, we're going to see another shift in the business. The business is going to take so many shifts in these next 5 years to see if it can stand the test of time because of everything that's happening. And when you say that, Larry, we're going to see a shift in the business when that happens because we got to watch this kid at NXT.
Yeah.
And I used to tell James every time, I can't watch Raw or SmackDown the way that I watch NXT because NXT, they had stars like Keith Lee who made me say, you know what, I'm watching wrestling again.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know why so many NXT guys from 5-6 years ago even never panned out? Because Kevin Dunn sucked. That's why. And now you don't have him there. I mean, you think about some of those NXT guys from 5 or 6 years ago that didn't pan out. It's just bad timing. If they had come now, I think they'd be marketed correctly and not just be lost in the shuffle because Kevin Dunn would give up on somebody if he couldn't market them.
Do you know somebody that I think, not necessarily from the NXT angle, but they had made it to the main roster? You know somebody that I think the WWE collective is really probably kicking themselves over for not letting it work out?
Let's hear about it.
Swerve Strickland.
Yeah.
Because when you look, they missed out because if you look at how Swerve is just loved by the fans, his charisma, he's well-spoken on the mic for promos, he's good in the ring. Swerve, to me, they missed out on that. And Swerve, I saw the interview where Swerve was saying he kept going to Triple H. He's like, look, I'm ready to take the next step, but Triple H was just holding back on him. And for whatever reason, it didn't, because it was Swerve, B-Fab, and who was the other one? I forgot. They had that faction. They were on SmackDown for a little while. I didn't even realize that was Swerve until I went back and looked at it.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, they dropped the ball. I would have loved to seen eventually Swerve versus Trick Williams.
Ooh.
That's a dream match for me.
That would have been. See, they dropped the ball on that.
They dropped the ball.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one.
Somebody needs to be held accountable so more balls are not dropped. I'm being dead serious when I say that. I'm sure that came out really funny, but this has been going on for years where they've dropped the ball. I mean, Larry, you just said it about 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago about the right storyline that could have been done or whatever, and they didn't do it. I mean, they didn't do it. And it's like, is it politics? Is it that nobody's thinking? I mean, us four guys aren't even getting paid the type of money that these guys are, and they're not doing it.
Dude,
I mean,
give me a percentage. You got guys making $10 million or whatever a year to write storylines that suck. Dude, give me $250K a year, and I will write you storylines that will just keep things going. Like, okay, case point. I'm gonna tell you what I hope to see with Braun Breaker. I see Kerry saying that Braun's gonna lose the IC title. I don't think so. I think Braun is slowly working his way to main event status. How do you do that? You let him have a long IC title reign a la a Gunther, because think about it. When Braun recaptured the IC title after Solo Sikoa did what he did for Jay, that was right after SummerSlam. So if Braun were to hold the title through next year, this is what I would do: have him win the Royal Rumble, and then when he wins the Royal Rumble, he picks whoever he wants to challenge at next year's WrestleMania. Now, Elimination Chamber, he's still the IC champ. Elimination Chamber, have somebody step up to challenge him and say, "Oh, I'm going to take you your concentrate, blah blah blah." But have whoever he challenges for the World Championship or WWE Championship at WrestleMania cost him the IC title next year. He'll go down as one of the longest ranked, because Gunther was what, 666 days?
Something like
that. If you go from SummerSlam last year to Elimination Chamber next year, I did the math earlier. That's about 500 plus days. That would make him a lengthy IC champ. And if you have whoever the challenger, who he's challenging for the championship, interfere and get him to lose, okay, he can drop that title clean, and you just set the fire for a bigger main event at next year's WrestleMania for your world championship, whoever you may be.
You could do that, Larry, or if you want to revisit history and try to everybody forget the ultimate challenge, have Braun Breaker be IC title champion, take title for title for title.
WrestleMania 6.
WrestleMania 6, which
the
was one of my favorite ones.
So, I mean, that's something right there. One more match that I'm just going to say that it's like another what the fuck moment. I love the guy, but I mean, at one time, Father Time's going to have to say goodbye. This Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I mean, is that your bathroom break? Is that what that's for? I think these are two bathroom breaks that I've mentioned, by the way. So, yeah, matches.
Oh, man, I tell you what, I've been trying to get it.
That's the pizza just arrived. Let me grab the nachos out the microwave.
Hey, man.
Let me go pop some popcorn. Let me go make a beer run.
Bro, I got one better for you. I've been trying to be healthier. I've been doing colon cleansers, and that's one time I hope the colon cleansers talk to me, because I was definitely.
it might move you. It's so bad, honestly.
Yeah,
it might just degenerate.
Why am I thinking Nutty Professor right now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll clear my colon.
What I don't understand about Rey, he is an active Hall of Famer. And look, I love Rey Mysterio. I mean, I met him without the mask when they Mid-South Wrestling, not Mid-South, it was at the it was the mid I forgot the name of the old, it was by the UNO Lakefront Arena, but it used to be mid something. But back in WCW, they came and did a house show, and I took a picture with Rey Mysterio without the mask. Dominic is literally Rey Mysterio without the mask when he was young.
Taller.
Look exactly the same. He's just taller. He's just taller. But
by like a foot.
Yeah. But my thing with Rey is, and I guess he still loves what he does, but dude, you're a Hall of Famer. There's no reason for you to still be in the ring wrestling.
Name one wrestler besides Rey Mysterio is still active.
From when we were growing up.
And 300 days.
And my thing is, I'm 48, so Rey has to be 52, 53.
He is.
Because he's in his early 50s. There's no need for you to do that. And I think with Rey still wrestling as a luchador, that takes away some steam from Penta getting to another level, because I want to get into Penta, but as long as Rey is still on the roster, it's going to be hard for Penta to elevate, because you still have the greatest luchador of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why Sin Cara never made it. The fake one or the real one.
Yeah.
The real one or the fake one.
They tried, but you know that when you're a luchador and you wear that mask, you got to make sure Rey is, on hiatus or something, or else you're going to fall by the wayside.
Who do you think accepts the Randy Orton challenge? Who's going to come out? What pop are we going to see, you think, in that one?
That's a good one.
Is Solo available?
I would think so. I was just about to say Solo, because that's probably the biggest name on both brands that's not, that's actively right now. That's not, injured per se or whatever. That's available. And you have history there, because even though Solo wasn't there at the time, the Bloodline did take Randy out. But that's when it was Roman and the Usos. So, and for right now, because Jacob is going to win that U.S. championship. So, to me, but what good does it do? Because Solo can't win any matches anyway. He's like, 0-26 in his last matches or whatever. So, I feel bad for him, because he's slowly falling to obscurity because, dude, Jacob Fatu is just that damn good. You would think that with him becoming the new bloodline leader at the time, and they tried everything. You know, they had him with the suit and everything.
They gave him a turtleneck. They gave him a black turtleneck, man, and a glove.
The dude was looking like a Samoan Nino Brown, man. He was just, you know, doing his thing.
He's just trying to be the Rock back in high school.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel sorry for him because potentially you got his brother that's probably going to win the championship over Gunther. I think Big Jim eventually is going to get a singles push. You got Roman, the cousin. You got your other cousin, Jacob, who's about to rise up. And at some point, Zilla's going to get to WWE. And when he gets to WWE, he's that damn good. He's going to take off. Yep.
I mean, they're just taking over. There's so many of them. So that's the thing. So
yeah.
Listen, I love this, guys. I mean, I could talk wrestling all night, and I know that people got stuff to do. I want to get to the predictions though, in the matches or what have you. So let's get to the predictions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go night one, and I'm going to go from the match that Kerry actually just mentioned. The War Raiders versus the New Day for the WWE World Tag Team Championship. What do you guys got?
I think this is the New Day's last hurrah.
Yeah.
Let's just go out this way.
New Day wins it.
New Day.
Yeah, I got New Day as well. So, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
I'm not even concerned about this match.
Do I have to pick somebody?
Hey, you know who doesn't win? The fans.
The fans, yeah. It's going to be Ray. It's going to be Ray. There's no way they're going to let El Grande Americano.
What the hell is that? So, I mean, oh my God.
Ray gets it.
Two Pair mentioned this match earlier. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title.
Fatu.
I think Fatu's going to get it done.
I think he gets it on the big stage, but you know I'm a LA Knight fan. Like, he won me over. It took, 2 years for me to finally say this on the Rebels with a Cause, because I didn't believe it. He just wasn't believable at first.
He had to work.
It is like he gotta look. He embodied the character more.
You want me to give you something that's going to make you like LA Knight even more?
What's that?
Go watch when he's not in character, when he's just giving a random interview, and close your eyes. You're going to swear you're listening to Dwayne Johnson. He sounds just like The Rock when he's talking regular.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, wow. He does.
By the way, Kerry says Sami Zayn will accept the challenge from Orton. That's interesting. We haven't seen him in a while.
I can see
we
that.
haven't seen him. So, yeah.
Ray Womack Gable.
So we all agree Fatu wins that one, even though
Fatu.
Gotcha. Yep. All right. Let's go with this one. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. We just mentioned that match. So
I like Jade.
I'm going with Jade. I think they've been pushing her for about the Royal Rumble.
Naomi's had her time.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, give me Jade.
Yeah.
Naomi's had her time.
I am going to be the odd man out here. My heart wants to say Jade, but for some reason, Naomi's getting this makeover from the glow thing to caution. So that's something they might want to push. And you got to think about it. Jade came back and buried her at Elimination Chamber, just destroyed her. Mm-hmm. And then when Naomi and Bianca had their falling out, she came and destroyed her again. Now, Naomi did get a round back. I think Naomi's due for a victory. And now this could set up backlash for Jade to win, but I think big stage, I think Naomi's going to get it. I'm going to go with Naomi for this.
I would like to see Naomi win, but I'm going with my head here and not my heart, and that's why I'm going safe with Jade. Plus, it intrigues me, this Rhea Ripley and her potential feud that might be muscles versus muscles. So
it's coming.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that's the next match I've got. Tiffany Stratton. Sorry, this is a different one. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship is on night one.
Definitely Charlotte. Charlotte's winning.
I think Charlotte is going to do it.
They don't let her lose in WrestleMania.
Yeah. Especially after what she came back from. Yeah, after coming back from the ACL, after her being on Sherry Shepherd, and that's what Tiffany Stratton was talking about. You know, when she kind of threw shots at her, talking about you were on a talk show, crying and all of that. Because let me tell you something real quick. Charlotte is aggravating in the ring, but when I saw that interview, I don't know if y'all saw it when she was on Sherry Shepherd, and Sherry asked her, you know, about the divorce because she's on her third divorce and coming back from injury. She started crying and got emotional. And I'm like, man, I felt for her. And then on top of that, remember, she lost her brother. Reed committed suicide. And you know, so, you know, Charlotte, easy. Because
you want to know something real quick? Let's take a step back for a second. If we got a minute for you. My thing is this. This is her third. Yeah, you're right. This was her third divorce. And, you know, if you remember that promo, I think it maybe was a year or two ago when she and Ray Ripley got into it because Ray Ripley was talking about Dominique being her Latino heat. And she was like, no, Andrade's my real Latino heat. Or you know, and it's like, where the hell did it go wrong? Like, I mean, because, you know, he was in the match with her father for that final match or whatever. I just don't know what the hell happened. I mean,
it's her. I mean, I don't know her, you know, obviously, but you don't have 3 divorces because of the guys. It's you. Yeah. You either don't know how to pick a husband or
you're just unlivable. Yeah.
You're toxic.
Yes. Toxic. And you're Ric Flair's daughter. I think he's on number 4. So, you know,
they're very much alike. They're very much alike. I think.
Hey, you talk about John Cena beating Ric Flair's world championship record. Charlotte just may beat Ric Flair's divorce record.
She might, and she's still what, in her 30s or what have you?
No, she's 40. She's 40, like 41, 42.
So she's my age. She's our age. So yeah.
So she's available.
She's available. Shane.
If you want
What? All right. What about this one? Gunter versus main event Jay. Yeet for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Give me Jay.
Give
me Jay all day.
It's gotta happen. It's Jay, man. You come too far to lose, go 0-4. It's gotta be Jay.
Yep, definitely. And
Triple H has already been hinting at how the fans love Jay.
Oh yeah.
We will riot. He loses another main event.
Yeah, no, he's.
And I'm gonna tell you something. If you come off of the heels of what happened last year, where you dethroned Roman Reigns and piss off the fan base, and you have an opportunity to at least make it right, not that instance right, but you can kind of make another championship instance right. By Jay has to win this match because Stallion, me and you talk about this all the time. His entrances are like concerts. Like literally, when I hear so I'm up here, you know, yeeting. I'm yeeting all over my living room floor. That didn't sound right, but you get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. No, what about the Royal Rumble pop when nobody saw that coming when he threw Cena out? I mean, or Cena was
Lion France when he came out, and any of those places overseas when he comes out, and I think that's why the American crowd has stepped their game up with how they react, because when he's overseas, particularly that Lion France crowd, it was insane. You would have thought Michael Jackson came back from the dead and started moonwalking. That's how electric it was.
No, you're.
He got to work on his promos though. His promos are not the best.
He's stiff. This shit's over. I mean, it's done. So goodbye. Goodbye. It's time for something new. I mean, you know what? I think that's the other problem, guys. Let's be real. I mean, Cody's whatever and so forth, but you have 2 boring champions, and now you have an opportunity with 2 champions on 2 different spectrums: the greatness of Cena and the newness of Jey Uso.
Think about how Triple H placed this, because Gunther versus Jay is the opening match tomorrow night. They announced it. That's your opening match. So there's no way that Jay loses, because if Gunther retains in the opening match, you ain't even going to want to watch the rest of WrestleMania. You're going to be pissed.
Nope.
Yeah. So Jay has to win, which is going to evoke a lot of excitement and emotion going into night 1. It's going to be a whole lot of other things. You know, that triple threat at the end of the night is going to have some surprises.
Yes.
And then the end it all, John Cena wins, which is going to have everybody talking and excited because they're just tired of Cody.
It's all
So,
about match placement. You're right about that. It's
yes,
all about
yes,
match placement and how you got to get the crowd hype. You know what I mean? Honestly. So start with a championship, bookend it with a championship. So
that's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now the triple threat. You mentioned that night one. I mean, just think about this, guys. In years past, this would be the card. There wouldn't even be a second night. Like this
Right.
was what you could shove in 4 hours. But
Hmm.
anyway, Roman Reigns, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
Well, I'll say this. All three of them last year, well, Punk got injured, so he couldn't compete. He was just there to watch Drew get dethroned by Damian Priest. So this is his WrestleMania moment. Seth lost last year, and Roman lost last year.
Yep.
So if I'm looking at that, I'm leaning CM Punk because he finally has his main event, and he's a fan favorite. However, what's the plans with Roman? Because if Roman loses, where does he go from here? He's obviously not contending for a championship right now.
Roman's already stated he's got, once his contract's done, he's got 2 years
Okay.
max.
So he's looking at retirement?
Yeah.
I think he's wanting to pursue that movie career. I think he is. At
Yeah,
this
it's only right. I mean, he's got the
Yeah.
body for it. He's got the hype for it. I mean, hell,
The women like him. I mean, yeah,
he's
why
got
not?
he's got the charisma.
He's got the
Yeah.
charisma, you know.
I
So
would. He's got 7 mouths to feed too. So he's got like 7
that,
kids.
yeah,
I feel like. Ooh,
that
shit.
part.
Yeah.
So
Two
I'm
sets of
gonna
twins.
go CM Punk, and I know it's not gonna happen, but God, if that guitar riff would hit and the Beast himself would come out, oh my God.
You know, that's the thing. I'm glad you said it, Larry, because I was going to ask it, and I didn't know how you all would react to it, nor anybody watching. Is it time for him to come back? I mean, has enough of that died down, or what?
I think I'm kind of with Larry. I'm 50-50. It's like if it happens, I think it shoots through the roof. If it doesn't happen, I'm not mad, but they missed a very crucial shift in the cult. Like stuff like that can change the culture again. Like that's where I'm in agreement with Larry. But if it doesn't happen, it's like you miss a shift in the culture.
Missed out. Yeah.
You know what? I got one better for you two, Parrot. You're onto something, and I think you and me might be on the same page. What if it had been Lesnar that showed up at Elimination Chamber or Royal Rumble that set all this up? You know what I mean, type of thing. And then you have like a fatal four-way, but and Paul Heyman represented 3 of the 4 guys. You know what I mean?
And you got to
So,
remember, even without Lesnar being in it, all 3 of these guys all have history with each other.
they do.
You got Rollins and Reigns from the Shield. You got Reigns and CM Punk when the Shield was protecting CM Punk at the time to help him retain his championship when 434 days. You got Rollins and CM Punk that hate each other. Now, if you throw Lesnar into it, we all know Lesnar and Roman, their history goes back 10 years to that first time they battled.
And Rollins screwed
Roman
in that one.
Yep. He did. Rollins cashes in the Money in the Bank, and he wins the championship, over Lesnar. Yep. CM Punk and Lesnar had their history. That one match they had where Lesnar beat him, and man, what could you do with that if he would come back? So yeah that would be awesome.
My heart would love to see Roman win, but I really think this is going to be CM Punk's moment. I think Punk wins it. I really do. I could be wrong. So the only way, because this is going to be the main event, if Cena wins tomorrow or Sunday night, that's a heel winning. They're not going to have 2 heels win. That's why I asked you who's the face in this. So they'll probably want CM Punk, who is the face, to win.
Think about
Saturday
this. Night. Why have CM Punk lobby so much to finally have a WrestleMania main event and have him lose it? So if he's finally in a main event of WrestleMania, even if it's night 1, he didn't come this far to lose.
Yeah, and it should have been maybe last year.
I like
it might have been last year.
I think we got a definite answer. If CM
do we get a
it's
Roman?
A travesty because he didn't get his ice cream sandwich, and nor did he get his main event.
But does that turn into we get a Roman and Cena?
No,
Roman's already stated he's coming back for the title.
I think the shift for Roman is going to be to the World Heavyweight Championship because you have a new potential storyline that now Roman wants to get back on top. And if Jay has it, guess what? You've just started a whole new storyline within the family.
Mm-hmm.
You can
really
do so
at the head
much
of
with
the
it.
table.
Does it bring the Rock? Does it bring the Rock back in more?
It should.
Let me say this. I'm glad you said that because what if Jey Uso sells his soul to The Rock?
I think he would.
Because am I the only one that remembers Jey Uso had Travis Scott with him on the Netflix premiere on Raw?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And The Rock rolls with Travis Scott that slapped the shit out of Cody Rhodes and busted his eardrum?
Yep.
So
okay.
if Jay is 0-3 against Gunther, and that when The Rock came out,
you just said it. That's
you got
the
your
third.
3.
Yep.
You had your 2. You got 1 more. So who's the last one?
It's Jey Uso. It's Jey
It's
Uso.
gotta be Jay. That would flip everything. You think the John Cena heel turn? John Cena's heel turn shocked the shit out of everybody because it's John Cena.
I got one for you guys. Rock comes. Let's say there's a bunch of guys that interfere, whether it's Stone Cold, Rock, whatever. For that,
and
Saturday
there will
night.
be. That's going to happen.
You'll get both. You'll get both. You'll get both.
So Rock fucks Roman over, setting that up for 42 next year in New Orleans. What do you think? That gives Rock a year to get in shape. Make the schedule work. Roman can do a couple movies, stay in shape, and you keep them apart, and then you get them ready at Royal Rumble or whatever like that. So, something like that.
How would that go over? Because if we look at the history, remember last year, Seth Rollins told The Rock he was having Mr. Midlife Crisis, you know, and then The Rock called him a walking clown emoji. So you had that right there. And then we all remember CM Punk and The Rock. So that if that would happen, I don't think the timing of that would happen. Now that could happen if Jay wins the championship. Picture this: if Jay wins the championship and then Roman goes on to challenge Jay, and then The Rock comes out and messes over Roman that night, and then Jay officially sells his soul to The Rock.
Then that's how it will happen. Yeah, SummerSlam, something like that.
And I'm gonna give you something to think about for what is that? Backlash. Okay. Y'all know where Backlash is this year?
I don't know. Where's it at?
It's in St. Louis. Whose hometown is that?
Randy Orton.
And who's had historic battles over the years, and one more battle would be awesome to see.
CM Punk and Randy Orton have had some tremendous battles.
But I want to see Randy and Cena one last time.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. So,
that would that put Randy?
Randy would
behind
be
Cena. Right, yeah. Randy's right behind Cena.
Randy has 14 world title reigns. His next one would be number 15. Cena is looking to break Ric Flair's record of 16 to go to 17. So Cena would have 2 more. Gotcha. Yeah.
And Randy's already stated that he's going for Zena's 17. We all know Zena's getting 17.
He's getting it.
Yeah. No, I like that. And you know they're buddies. They've been rivals. They're buddies.
They came in together.
And they're part of that great OVW class. So realistically, it makes sense that they're going to have that one match. As a matter of fact, it might even be Orton that retires Cena. That could be the end.
If Cena wins the championship and he has a run, because right now we're in April going into May, right? Mm-hmm. Cena's retiring in December,
right?
So. Yep. I could see it happening at Survivor Series. That's your last big pay-per-view at the end of the year in November.
Yep.
Randy could be the one to get his 15th title and dethrone Cena and retire Cena, and that would only work out. And what if Randy comes out there tomorrow night and he wants to go for Cena? What if he messes over Cody Rhodes?
It's true. It's true. That's that whole Crossroads thing when they were the what was that?
And that sets
Legacy.
Up that sets up giving 15 and 16.
That sets it up because remember a couple of weeks ago what happened? I thought something was strange with Randy coming out there telling Cody Rhodes how much he respects him, and he says, "Man, you're doing better than me." I know we all know they get along, but when has Randy ever thought somebody was especially Cody Rhodes.
Mhm.
Better than me?
Hey, how about this?
What's up?
What if Randy's the third? What if
Nah.
Randy is the third? That he sold his soul to The Rock? You
Remember
never
the first time they met?
No, I still think it's Jay.
Yeah, it's probably
It's gonna
Jay.
be Jay. It's gonna
I
be
think
Jay.
it's
It's gonna
Jay.
be Jay.
It might be Jay.
Or
It's
if
gonna be
Rock,
Jay.
even tomorrow night, if Rock makes an appearance after he screws over whoever and he throws a 4-up or whatever like that, there might be somebody else. But
Yeah.
the three, somebody's going to be the third. It's going to be revealed at some point this weekend. So,
Yeah.
all right, moving on to night 2. Okay. If whoever fights Randy Orton, we've listed some names. Does Orton win? Or does the person that challenges win? What do you think?
Orton's
I
gonna
think
win.
Orton wins. I think
Yeah.
if what we're talking about, I think Orton wins to set up this
RKO, baby.
Yeah,
Orton,
RKO.
Randy Orton is at the end of his run. He's already said that he doesn't have that much time left. So, you know, that's the thing about these retirement tours, man. And here's the irony about it. My birthday is in March, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine too.
Cena.
Mine too. Yep.
All right, we're all March babies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm March. Oh, you're the odd man out. I'm March 1977. John Cena is May 1977. Brock Lesnar is July 1977. So I'm looking at these guys like, you guys are almost 50 like me. So it's time. And Randy's a couple of years younger. I think Randy's like 40.
I think he's 2 years younger than them.
45, 46. Yeah, he's right behind them. So
he's right behind them though. So.
Randy's already said he's not wrestling.
Randy and Ika served in the Marine Corps together.
That's
right.
Cool.
So
with like our lists would overlapped.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But yeah, so Orton wins. We agree with
Orton
that.
wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The piss break match: AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I really hope AJ Styles wins. Why do I think Logan's going to win this stupid?
Logan is going to win. Logan is going to win because for whatever
Logan
reason, Logan's getting the push.
Logan will win because it keeps the youth invested because they're so invested in the Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because I've got a 12-year-old son. Anytime we're watching, he sees Paul on there, he's glued.
Oh.
He knows who The Rock is. He's invested into the bloodline. But he sees Paul come out. It's like, Dad, we gotta go get some prime. I'm like, bro, like, dude's garbage. But it keeps the next generation invested. How we were with Stone Cold and The Rock and The Undertaker and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, like that's the new thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. I like that reasoning. Okay, this is actually going to be my favorite match. This is the ass match, as I like to call it. You got Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. By the way, so yeah.
Give me the girl who's had Drake slide in her DMs. Give me Liv.
Yeah, I don't see Lyra and Bayley winning because Lyra's already the women's IC champ. They ain't gonna let her double dip as a double champion.
And let me tell you something. Liv Morgan, man, you talk about somebody that's taken the bull by the horns, man. These last couple of years, she's done it, man. Good for her. Good for Hooters waitress to this, honestly. So yeah. You mentioned that Braun Breaker match versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic. I loved that Kerry actually thinks that Dominic wins it. I'd laugh if Dominic won it, but I think Braun's going to win this match. I really think, I think Braun wins to keep going.
They've been pushing him too hard.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead. But you got two nepos, but give the nepotism to the Steiners.
For sure. Okay, what about the match that you mentioned earlier, Larry? Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World Title.
Do you really have to ask who I want to win?
Shane, 2-pair. Who do you think?
I want to win.
I think Bianca takes it.
You know who I want to win.
The EST.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
FINEST.
Give me the Austin East /UT alumni all day.
Yeah. Yep, and she stays undefeated at WrestleMania, so we're in agreement with that one. Okay, the match that I'm actually looking forward to that Sunday night, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a Sin City street fight.
I'm not gonna lie, Damian Priest he's come a long way from NXT.
He has.
I wasn't a fan like Larry. Ask James how tough I was. Like, this guy does not sell anything.
No,
this dude,
he's come along.
I was not a fan. I was not a fan of Buddy. Lately, he's grown. He's shown some growth, but he ain't there yet.
Well, his world championship reign is when he grew on me. I didn't like him either, but when he became a champion, but I think Drew wins simply because Damian beat him last year at WrestleMania when he cashed in Money in the Bank. They ain't gonna let him lose 2 years in a row. Drew has to win.
Can I tell you this, Larry? I like how you think that way. I'm going to go with Damian because I think that was such must-see TV that the meltdown McIntyre had that you have it 2 years in a row. Like almost like it's going to be a comedic thing of, McIntyre doesn't get his moment at WrestleMania because he did win the only title when it was during COVID in a freaking empty, stage with him and Brock. 4 Claymores later, he's champion and there's nobody there. He didn't even get the fake window fans that were waving during the Terror Dome or the Raw Dome, whatever it was called during that time. So
right.
So I could see it going either way. Honestly, both guys will definitely be in the main event contention as the year goes on. And finally, the last match: Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE title.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
It's too predictable.
Yeah. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, what John Cena told Cody, on my best day, you couldn't wipe my ass. And notice, they had to dial John Cena back after that promo because they're trying to help Cody. They're trying because Cody is just terrible on the mic.
Yeah.
And Cody up here talking about the dude's genitalia and all of that stuff. And I'm like, Cody, this ain't even you, dude. Just take your L. Because
cry. Do what you do best, cry on the mic.
Dude, if somebody tells me that on my best day I can't wipe their ass, guess what? I'm defeated in life. I can't come back from that.
No.
How can you come back from that? Dude, you took his manhood when you said,
Cody,
we fighting,
on my worst, you can't even wipe my.
He said on your best day.
On your best day, you can't even wipe my ass.
And the thing you do not know.
I'm over the
dude
Cody
white
Dusty stuff.
Charmin, damn.
I'm over that. Because the way he said it, it was just like, it's almost like if I didn't know any better, I would think John meant it because he said it with so much emotion.
That's the real Cena.
That was right back to freaking him and Rock.
Yes.
When that shit got personal.
Yes. And it got personal. And don't forget about the other line where he said, I make money for billionaires. You just take money from their kids. The shot at Tony Khan taken from the Jacksonville Jaguar, Tony Khan being the son, taking millions of dollars
with
from
AEW. Yep.
Dude.
Yep. I mean,
John
he went
cooked
hard.
him.
No,
John cooked him.
Cena cooked him. No, Cena cooked him.
Cena cooked him.
And you're definitely right about that. I
would dare to say Cena's probably the best on the mic ever.
Yeah, he's gotten there.
Because he has learned how I will take a personal jab at you.
Well, this is the worst thing too. It's like you said, guys, this was 10 years too late, maybe even 15 years too late. I don't know. It's like, I want to hear as many promos as we can in this last, 6 months or 7 months, whatever's left in the year or whatever that we have.
Think about this.
So,
Cena's presence is so powerful. When he hugged Cody at Elimination Chamber and Rock did the throat slash, and Cena's facial expression went from smiling and just had that evil scowl.
Mm-hmm.
That scowl, and you look, and everybody, and you can see, go look at the fans. The fans in the crowd, when they saw the scowl, they were like, Like it's almost like your boy at WrestleMania down here when the Undertaker streak got broke, and when Undertaker lost, it's like,
yeah. I mean,
like
yeah.
the dude stopped breathing.
Yes, no, he was dead. No, well, that's the whole point right there, Larry. Honestly, and you hit it right on the head. That right there. Let me just say, if I'm ever having a bad day, I'll put that on YouTube. By the way, because that makes me feel
you
better.
gotta laugh.
To watch that little crybaby bitch get his ass whipped or whatever. And could you see Rock coming out and standing over Cody after like Cena, like you just kind of like kicking him in the shoulder, like just like, are you alive or what? Like, I mean,
the one thing I do want to see, I want The Rock to do that I've missed this year that I loved last year is when he's talking shit to Cody when he's beating him with the belt, and then when he goes at Mama Rose, like I love when he starts talking about Mama Rose, and he get up, boy, and then the unedited, uncensored version, dude.
That was gold. That was gold. I mean, it was. I loved it. I loved it. So it was amazing.
The only way I see Cody retaining is going to be just like it was last year for him to win. It's going to have to be some outside interference. But who can you possibly? There's only one person that can come down here and probably save face, and that's Stone Cold, because of the history that he has with The Rock. The Undertaker coming back doesn't make sense. You've already done that last year, so we don't need to see that again. I don't see it happening, but a Batista, interference would be kind of cool, but we know that's not happening. No. So it only makes sense that it would have to be Stone Cold. Stone Cold is the only one, because who else from The Rock's past that can intervene and thwart the plans of the final boss? There's nobody else.
I don't know how physical he can be because of the heart. Triple H, maybe.
Nah.
But he can't be physical.
He can't because
I mean, he throws a punch that could jolt something. So.
Dude, yeah, exactly. If he swings wrong, he can, because he's got that pacemaker and all of that or whatever in his heart. He can't do nothing. So it has to be Stone Cold. There's really nobody else. I mean,
okay, I got Kurt Angle, the 3 eyes, intelligence, integrity.
Not even him. Not even him. Like
hey,
this.
Hey guys, I gotta jump off. My son's blowing me up.
All right, no problem, man. Thanks for coming, bud. Appreciate you. So,
love y'all. All right, much love, bro. Much love, bro. But yeah, you really don't have anybody that impactful that can come back unless, this would be crazy. I don't see it happening. I've been reading that the Shield is going to have a reunion, but I don't see how.
I would love it.
Is Ambrose still with
the nostalgia in me?
Yeah, he was there. I was watching Ambrose last night on AEW doing a promo.
So he can't. I mean, he can't come back.
He can't come back. But they were saying that there's room now, unless Seth and Roman get back together and there's a new member. Mm-hmm. But getting back to dethroning Cody, or Cody retaining rather, as it pertains to The Rock. Now with John Cena, if The Rock is not there, interference from people that John Cena's had history with, same thing. There's not that many people left that can come out that would be a big surprise that can.
Would CM Punk come out the next night to help Cody?
I don't think nobody that's there right now, active wrestler, would come out, because it just, you had it last year, obviously, because Seth did come out and help. Mm-hmm. And the Usos came out to try to help Roman. So I guess you could have some interference. But the deciding factor or the deciding chair shot or whatever happens, that's got to be from somebody that's either a WWE legend that's had history with somebody, or a big name that's coming from another company, Yeah. But who?
Who?
That's
why you got to tune in.
What a way. Now, I ain't gonna lie. That's another way if Brock Lesnar could come back. That would be awesome.
Because
Brock has history with Cena. Yes.
Yeah, and they were part of the OVW class.
And the last time we saw Brock, he was shaking hands with Cody Rhodes, giving him his stamp of approval when he left after the SummerSlam match.
That would be something.
So there is a kinship there.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that'd probably be the big name right there. Other than Austin, would be Brock Lesnar at this point.
If that would be as big as the gong last year when the Undertaker showed up, when the crowd went wild. If you got The Rock, let's say The Rock does show up and he comes out and they're about to steal the title from Cody, and all of a sudden you hear the guitar riff, doom, 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 doom. They're gonna go. The crowd's gonna go crazy. They're gonna
that
go
or the
nuts.
glass shattering would be incredible. I think it would be incredible.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
The glass shattering is going to break Vegas I think that's more likely to happen. So
than anything. So, well, guys, it's going to be an amazing spectacle. This has been 2 hours of so much fun. It is exactly why we went this long. We had such good discussion to talk about the past of wrestling and, you know, where it goes from here. And I just hope it's a great spectacle, and we'll definitely cover it next week. You know, was it good? Was it bad? You know, did it miss the mark? And honestly, I'm super excited about this. And Larry, thank you so much for joining the show tonight, man. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule. And you know, I know you're not West, but can you throw up the W for me, baby? I just wanted to look at that. I love it, man. I just love
I watch y'all enough to know, man. I watch y'all enough
man,
to know.
the W.
And I support. And let me say this real quick.
Yeah.
For everybody in the West community, in the Knoxville community, if I can support way down here outside of New Orleans, give these brothers some more support.
Thank you, man.
Grow this thing, because
thank you, brother.
You're talking about your community. You're talking about people that's doing this for the good of their school. These alumni, they're not getting paid. Just like me and Dion, you talking with this thing behind me right here, this helmet that I love so much.
Right.
We don't get nothing for what we do.
No.
Same thing goes with you guys, and you guys are actually connected because you guys are alumni. So for everybody that's watching,
thank y'all, man.
Man, look,
thank you.
Subscribe, man. Get behind them, because I can't even put it into words. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am. Just support these dudes, man.
Appreciate you, brother. So,
thank you, brother. Appreciate
you, brother.
And
absolutely.
Talk, like, you know, I tell James, like, we're probably the only Florida State, Miami friends that are actually cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And prayers to that senseless act yesterday. Just,
that was crazy.
Disgusting. Just
prayers go out to the Florida State family. That is crazy.
Absolutely.
Bigger than football, man. Bigger than football.
Big world, man, and we got to do better as individuals to build each other up, lift each other up to where that person doesn't feel as if they need to make a statement like that to show the world that no one is out there to talk to.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
Amen. Preach, brother. Two-pair, end the show like you always do. Larry, stay with us, and we're going to end it perfectly here. So go for it.
Man, this is WrestleMania weekend, and we got to have the incredible Larry Frank Jr. on our show as a guest, and we hope to have him many more times. What I want to say to you is you can build up your school just by telling someone, hey, man, have a good day. It's all about the domino effect in life, because every action does require a positive reaction, no matter if it's even negative. Don't let that domino go the wrong way when it can go the right way. And we say this on Rebels with a Cause. Be safe, love one another, and God bless. We are out of here like last year. See y'all. Enjoy your weekend.